This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Welcome, Planning and Zoning, for May 8th, 2023. My name is Vern Carlson. I'm the chair of the meeting. We have a short agenda tonight. We have some town business and just one site plan. Just let me introduce the staff. Andy Bellavacqua, up to my extreme right, our town engineer. Alan Fredrickson is an engineer's administrator. To my left is Catania. She is our current reporter. And Pam Miller, our secretary, our staff secretary. To my extreme left, Jim.
I'm Jim Gilletti. I'm a regular member and the acting secretary tonight.
Hi, Ron Williams, an alternate. I think I'm sitting tonight.
And he'll be sitting tonight, yes.
Brian Cummings, regular member.
Mark Parisi, alternate. I will also be sitting.
Right. So we have a full commission tonight with the alternates, and we have a short agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda now?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, pretty well straightforward. We're going to start off with the 824, Jim.
Okay, 824 referral B2304, application to the town of North Haven for various athletic facility improvements. This project spans 5 properties: 222 Maple Avenue, 40 Second Point Road, 42 Second Point Road, 48 Second Point Road, and 55 Bailey Road.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, commission members. Lynn Sadowski, Director of Public Works. We are here tonight, kind of a co-joint venture between the Board of Ed and the town of North Haven. We are proposing on this plan what we call the Board of Ed Athletic Facilities Improvements Project. We started our journey June 6th of 2022 with a capital bonding program at the North Haven High School. The residents voted to appropriate $3.5 million in capital bonding funds for the project. In September, we worked with the engineer, Weston and Sampson. Emily Wetman is in the audience to answer any technical questions you might have. And we worked with Weston and Sampson to move forward on the scope of work for the design of the project. We started our initial meetings with staff and also stakeholders, which included a bunch of folks from baseball, softball, the town staff, town engineer, land use administrator, Phil Mann, and myself from the Board of Ed, Patrick Sturck, and also our finance crews, which are Howard and now Rich Monaco. And we also started to vet out what things we could propose, what things cost, what could we afford, coming down the line. As part of Weston and Sampson's scope, we developed what's called a master plan, which is a wish list. If we had unlimited funding, what are all the things we were looking for to have in our plan? So we finalized the plan with the stakeholders. Then we sat down and said, okay, taking out legal fees and design fees and construction oversight fees, roughly, let's say we have a budget of around $3 million. What can we do for $3 million? And essentially where we are today is we have a plan that shows, do you want me to take this with me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, we have a plan that shows some improvements. This is the turf fields, the existing turf fields at the middle school, and we're proposing fencing around it and a 1,000-seat grandstand. On the JV fields, which comes in off of Maple Avenue, we're bringing in an enhanced water line so that we can have better pressure for our irrigation systems and supplement our other irrigation systems. What you see in blue is inland wetlands, so we have gone through the inland wetlands process. And where we see DeMayo baseball field and Brozac softball field and the all-purpose field, a few things they have in common is some lighting that we're proposing and upgrading the lighting from the older LED to the newer low glare, more enhanced lighting, far less glare and less light trespass. We're also extending both the DeMayo baseball field out and the softball field out, adding some fencing, some dugouts, and enhancements to that. We have a statue that's over at the Mail. We're going to be removing, we're going to move the statue to a different location. Some signage we're going to move around. And that kind of is where we're at with regard to what we felt we could afford in a bid. So we're going to ask for other things in our bid specs once we're through this process, but we'll probably add them as alternates because we're not sure we'll be able to afford everything that we're requested. There are like grandstands around these and grandstands around this. So essentially, what we've done is we've gone through the inland wetlands process and we received an approval last month. We're here before you because one of the parts of the process too is we wanted to meet with the abutters, the stakeholders. So we had sent out about 250 letters to the abutters. Pam Miller actually helped with that. And we wanted to get input from the neighbors. What do you think of it? Unfortunately, after sending out that many letters, we had 3 people attend. And I received emails from maybe 3 or 4 people, all who said they were for it, but didn't seem to solicit a lot of interest. You know, the ladies that we did speak to, the 3 ladies that showed up, they were really excited about it. They love that it's well lit. They love that the kids go there. A lot of them just love the sound of children. And, you know, folks who had emailed me asking for other things, could we, you know, add some more paving to a path? And I said, you know, we just at this time don't have that money in our budget. He also asked us if we could close School Drive, which comes in off of Sackett Point. But I said because of our emergency services, we couldn't do that either. They wanted to stop what happens as far as dumping that's back on School Drive. So, you know, we worked on that as well, but again, it's not something we could do. Our emergency services said, no, we can't close that road. On May 5th, we received a letter from 200 signatures from soccer and lacrosse parents and families. So I have a copy of that if you want to see a letter from them. And there are some folks in the audience tonight who could speak to that if you have any interest in that. And here we are tonight. We've been very fortunate because it's been probably one of the most fun and really great projects that we have worked on together. It's incredible because it really touches on everything. It touches on, you know, JV sports. It touches on girls and the boys sports. It touches on, you know, the turf fields and getting a grandstand over at the turf fields. It touches on, you know, the new LED low glare lighting. It touches on fencing and all kinds of really exciting things. The grandstand will have a press box built in, so there's a lot of great things about it. You know, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, the project is going to take North Haven's athletics as far as soccer, lacrosse, track, to a totally different level. Next weekend, you're going to see state meets at our track, which we could never have before because we didn't have an 8-lane run, and now we can start having state meets there. When we put the grandstands in at the new lacrosse field, turf field, we'll be able to attract state meets there also, charging for entry fees, helping to offset costs for maintenance. It's a win-win for the town, and it's going to put us probably one of the elite locations in the state for sports athletics.
Very good. Very good. Let me ask you, the money you appropriated, that's for this project?
Yeah.
That's all I've got as far as that goes. Jim, you got anything to say?
So I just want to kind of, just for the edification, obviously this is a good thing for the town. I don't think anybody questions that. But as I understand what you're telling us is that you think, and then we don't have bids yet, right? So you think you're going to have about $3 million to spend. And if I'm getting it, you got grandstands at the turf fields, that would be one of the priorities, and then water line is one of the priorities, and then lighting is one of the priorities. Fencing around some of the fields seems to be a priority, and some dugouts. That's kind of, am I missing something?
So you see where it says baseball field and where's that softball? Those fields are all being extended in size.
They're being improved.
Completely
Right.
upgraded, yeah.
New fields, new infield, and also we've been
New
working.
irrigation.
We've been working with the engineers because we found out recently that Sac Point Road has an upgraded main water line. So it's now 16 inches instead of 8 inches. So the pressure we're presently receiving is good enough to possibly not have to spend money coming in from Maple Avenue. And we're looking to take that money and put that back into the project. So we're still working on the numbers for that, but it looks like it's definitely gonna happen. And we're gonna save a lot of money just being able to use a lot of the services we have in place right now.
So I just have one other question. Phil, you mentioned that the track has been improved or was now,
Right.
but that's not part of this project
No,
though, right?
that's-
That had already
That
happened.
already happened, already been
I
done.
just didn't see
Yep.
that.
That was a separate project that we finished last year, Jim.
Got it.
And Jim, to add to that too, we received a grant for Bailey Road Baseball
Right.
Field. So
Right.
we're starting to work on that too, which is not part of this, but it affects it because if you shut down one field, now you gotta find room for the kids who play on that field to go somewhere else.
It's gonna be a scheduling nightmare for a couple of years, but, you know, we'll work it out. And Bailey Road, because, I mean, that's like the entrance to everything, and it sits right there out in the open, and we've got, you know, backstops that have been there for, I don't know, 50 years. And it looks terrible. So we're gonna regrade that. It's not a huge project, but it's gonna definitely enhance the look of it as you're pulling in and coming down Bailey Road.
The only question I have is I was looking at those photographs up there that look like they're demonstrations of lighting before and after maybe. Could you just explain which photos?
Yeah, sure. I'll start. Good evening. I'm Emily Weckman. I'm a landscape architect with Weston and Sampson. And correct, these are before and after. Thank you. Before and after examples, and we do have our lighting, our sports lighting expert here from Musco Engineering. But what you see here, if you see these two bottom photos, those show an example of existing lighting, which is similar to what you have out there, and you can see the glare and the light trespass of those fixtures. And the photos above it, we are using technology that's called full cutoff, so it really aims the light down towards the ground, diminishes the light trespass above it, and it angles the lighting so it maximizes the lighting of the field while impacting the neighbors less. There will be less light trespass, less glare going out into the neighborhood, which I'm sure many of you know have beneficial impacts to the environment and for the neighbors. But that is sort of, you'll be going from something like this to something more with directed light like that.
The good news about the new lighting is the existing poles will be able to be utilized. We'll just be changing the actual setups at the top. These new lighting, the lighting that's going in, I believe that, what's the warranty on those, like 20 years for the lighting?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 20 years. We changed bulbs on these fields presently. I just spent $2,600 last week changing bulbs and different parts of the equipment that are running these lights because they're 20 years old. The savings that we're going to see over the next 20 years is going to be really good for the town.
Okay, and the trespass won't be nearly as much.
No, won't be nearly as much. We lit up we just changed, we did the football field, and we have the same lighting at the football field right now.
Where the track
At
is.
Vanico where the track is, and we did a test a couple weeks ago, Mike?
Yeah.
Did a test a couple weeks ago. It's beautiful. I mean, the way it shines down, the way it does not trespass outside of it is really good.
Very good, Phil, thank you.
I got one more question.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Players can still see fly balls okay at night?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They'll see it better now, better coming up than they do now with the bulbs that we have out.
Just, you're talking about the possible state tournaments wanting to use our facilities. I assume you have adequate parking and plans in place for that type of activity?
I don't know if you'll ever have adequate parking because you never know how many people are coming. So, I mean, between the high school, the middle school, the complex, I mean, we have quite a bit of parking, but again, does anybody ever have enough parking? I mean, you go to Amity, you could walk like 6 miles before you get to one of their fields. You know, so I can't sit here and say to you that we're always gonna have enough parking.
Well, may I add something? We did study some of the parking studies, and when you look at the property as a whole with all the available parking throughout all of the parcels, and when you think about where parking is situated with the grandstands and seasonal events, not everything is going to be happening all at the same time. So when you look at the property as a whole, there is adequate parking, given the seating capacity of your existing grandstands and proposed grandstands and possibly future grandstands.
Right?
Emily answered the questions about the lighting.
Good enough? Thank you. Anybody else? Staff? Okay.
Excuse me, please. Can you state your name for the record?
Phil Diana, Director of Buildings and Grounds for the Board of
Gentleman in the
Education.
back,
And the gentleman in back, yes.
who's Mike?
Oh, I'm sorry.
The lighting
Yeah.
consultant.
Mike Mahoney.
Okay, you want to address the other 24 when you're
Are you gonna ask for the public
Yeah.
input?
I'm going to do both.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
okay. Yeah.
The next 824 is represented by another individual.
Okay, good enough.
So that works for
Let
this.
me just see if there's any public, is anybody here want to speak in opposition to this? Anyone in favor of this? Thank you very much. Oh, you're in favor of it?
Not to worry, it's gonna do fine.
Good enough, thank you very much.
Let the record
Okay.
show there were 1,000
Okay.
people.
I'm sure you have all the same thing to say, so we thank you all for showing up. Okay, we'll close this 8. Okay, Jim?
Okay, the next 824 referral P23-06, application of the town of North Haven on behalf of Max Inway Baseball League, requesting permission to construct a wall at 282 Quinnipiac Avenue.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. I'm Steve McNamara, representing Max Inway Baseball. I'm a board member, and we're asking your permission to build a simple wall, simple wall at Monowese Field. Back in my day, we used to call it playing suicide. Now it's playing wall ball. These kids throw it against the wall. Currently now, they're throwing against a vinyl fence. There's 100 holes in it. Or when they get yelled at, they turn around and throw it against the tiny bathroom building. It's a place that we think it's going to be paved around it. We're going to build, it's 28 feet wide by about 10 to 12 feet high, made out of pressure treated material. We're going to paint it, put the Max Inway or the Nighthawk logo on it. It's a place to take team pictures, for kids to play. We've been doing a lot of improvements down there, putting in all the pavement around there. We put in the playground. It's the best thing we did down there. It's a natural babysitter. Put the pavilion around the concession stand. We're just looking to keep improving. And this is something that the kids improve their skills, to keep them busy, just to have fun. It's just all for the kids. It's all with our money and our donated time to us.
Yeah, I'm sure you're doing a great job, no question about it. Where were you planning on putting the wall up there?
Where I submitted all aerial views from Google Earth and.
Is that right behind the concession stand?
No, it's in between the concession stand and field 1. We put it on an angle where it's not going to obstruct any view. Looking at it from the concession stand to it, it's going to be the field 4, the Babe Ruth field. If you're standing at the playground, you'd be looking at the wall, and field 4 would be behind it, the Babe Ruth.
It's south of the concession stand.
South, that's south.
Opposite the flagpole.
I centered it dead in center in between the playground and the asphalt walkway, so it's from above, it'll be aesthetically laid out properly, and everything's well thought out.
I got enough. Jim?
Yeah, just excuse my ignorance, what exactly is a wall?
It's,
Just you
yeah,
throw a
yeah,
ball
yeah,
to
throw the
yourself?
tennis ball, many uses for a wall. But they play it, they catch it, if you drop it, you gotta run to the wall. If they beat you to the wall, usually you get hit with it. Depends what kind of rules you're playing with, but the kids, they're playing it there all the time anyway. It'd be a great addition to down there. It's just for these kids to have a blast while they're down there.
Looks like a lot of tacky set balls.
Yeah, it could be, but they use tennis balls, and I've seen baseballs too. Handball, well,
I call it something else.
no, it was suicide.
There's a wall in Memorial Field that looks kind of like this. Is this the
Sure.
same idea?
Yep, 6x6 columns going up, 2x10s going across, flag bolted properly. I'm figured into 4-foot footing underground, 16-inch wide sonal tube. I'm even considering going 24 just to make sure we got enough while it's dug and while it's there, just a little more concrete. I don't want that thing falling down, but we're gonna build it right, and
You'll overdo it.
I always do.
You always do it
I
right.
always do.
You good, right?
Good, thanks.
Good. Good.
Just refresh my recollection, where's the money for this?
Where's the money? Max Inouye, we're
Yourselves?
yeah, yep, ourselves. Labor's donated and put up, and it's for the kids.
Good enough, Mr. Jim?
Yep, good.
Good. One second. Anybody here in opposition? Anybody in favor? Good enough, girls. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's good. Okay. Okay, come on, Jim?
Site plan?
Yeah, move right in the site plan. Read it, please.
Site plan 23-05, application of John Zerlis, applicant, United States Surgical Corporation owner, relative to 195 McDermott Road, map 3, lot 7, plan entitled Switchgear Unit for Medtronic, 195 McDermott Road, North Haven, Connecticut, dated March 27, 2023, scale 1 inch equals 20 feet, IL 30 zoning district. Hello, Mr. Zerlis.
Good evening. John Zorlos from DPA Scientists representing Medtronic. This application for site plan approval for an addition of a switchgear building.
I should use that, but you have the mic, I can't even read it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So can you stop that, please?
This is just an overall of the Medtronic campus, the location. This is the location here for the switchgear building, which is going to be approximately 1,200 square feet. Enlarged plan of the building is to construct the building here, as I said, 1,200 square feet, approximately 12 feet high. This is the existing switchgear, which will eventually be taken out. There's a couple of concrete pads which are required by UI to bring in power, which are coming off of McDermott Road. And essentially, that's what our application is.
Pretty much
Any
straight.
questions? We received approval from Inland Wetlands.
Yeah.
And I've seen the comments by staff, and we have no problem with those, they're very minor. So,
Andy? No problem with this at all?
No, it's just a small building.
I
Jim?
got
No questions? Okay, thank you very much, John.
okay. I'll be back.
Site plan. Okay, move forward to, well, under other, we'll go to under other, I guess, is the, is the one on the line here, tonight we got a short agenda. So we'll take other, which is 43 Broadway, we'll cover over, I guess,
If I can offer up just a little explanation, okay? They're gonna represent this application. I was not sure what to do with this. I spoke with you
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 times about what to do with it. We just decided to put it before you folks and see what you think. What they're talking about doing is putting a roof over the deck. So it doesn't change their site plan. They did have to go to the zoning board of appeals, and they received an approval to enlarge a non-conforming building. So they already have a variance for the deck. So they went back to the zoning board of appeals, and they received an approval to put the roof on, which is an enlargement of the non-conformity, in that there would be building mass over the front setback line. So, okay, they're square with ZBA, so they're here to find out if you guys are okay with it and they don't need to submit a site plan, then say so and they're all set and they'll move on to building permit.
But you're gonna need sort of a drawing at all on this?
Yeah.
ZBA got a
Yeah,
drawing.
I didn't see the drawing on this. Is there any hangover off the additional footprint?
No,
There is not.
no change of existing footprint.
Need your name, please?
Stephen with PH, Morocco, DPA.
Al, if you look at that, there's nothing on the outs, it is not
No.
Okay, listen.
So, Jay, this is the only thing I don't understand. I don't have any problem with you doing this, let me say it flat out, but I don't understand how this is not expanding the building. Because it's not expanding past the deck that you got approved, but this is now not a deck, this is now the whole building is that big, right? So how, I'm not looking to make them do site plan unless somebody has any issue about what they're doing. I don't have any issue about what they're doing. I assume, why'd they go to ZBA? Because they're going further out, they'll just.
No, they're not
expansion,
going further out, they're going up.
That-
No, I get that, but the deck was already approved to
Correct.
out whatever level that's out. But
Correct.
now, that is all building, right? Because now you've enclosed it. Before, that wasn't all building. The deck
Now
would
it will
part of the
be more building,
Right?
yes.
Before that, it was a deck.
Yeah,
So now, the building is bigger. no?
right.
Okay. So would it, the expansion of a building normally require a site plan? I'd waive it, I'm not trying to make you do it, but I just don't understand the logistics of why it's not down as a site plan.
My question was, get them here and explain what you're doing, allow you to ask questions and such, and to find out what you thought of it. My main problem with doing the site plan is that the site plan doesn't change from their last approved site plan. The pavement, the building footprint,
Well,
And-
what's
and
the
the
building
parking
footprint? Are you telling
stays the
me
same.
that a house with a deck or a building with a deck, the footprint of the building includes the deck? And I don't think it normally does,
yeah,
really.
deck counts as coverage, patio doesn't.
It does. But
Oh.
the fact of the matter is, nobody put this.
That's a really good question, though. I mean,
It makes a difference, yeah.
You know,
But I'm not.
I mean, you're right on the right track.
No, I get it, I just didn't understand why it didn't go that way, but I, for one, don't have any issue with it, I don't care about them doing a site plan. I see they went in front of ZBA.
Yeah, I mean, it seems unnecessary to do it.
I sit on that. I like it outside, actually.
Rob, what do you got to say about it?
So just to be clear, this'll have like walls, insulation, electricity, or is it just a deck with a roof and windows?
It's half wall and then opening windows towards the Broadway side and the driveway side, and then a roof over the top. So it will become 3-season seating.
Oh,
But
really?
all the windows will be able to open in the front.
Wait,
Or I apologize, it should be 4 seasons.
Well, that's right, I mean, what was it, which one were you eliminating?
I missed one. But seating, the amount of seating will not change.
Yeah, it's the same floor.
25 to 30 seats is what we have about now. Seating amount, capacity will not change.
You'll just be able to use it.
Correct.
are you planning to put walls or windows halfway up or something around there? Is this gonna be enclosed, totally
That's
enclosed?
gonna be a
It's gonna
wall.
porch
Silver
over.
picture, here's the picture.
Hold on one second. This is Dave Carroll, the property manager.
So, in essence, we're gonna be putting the walls, you know, like a half wall that's gonna be solid, where like the railing height typically is now. And then we're gonna put accordion windows on the upper half. So you'll still have the panoramic view outside if you're sitting there on the deck, or if you're sitting there inside. Yeah, like today, the windows will be wide open, so you get the air flow as well. You know, daylight a couple weeks ago, it would be closed up with heat going to keep people warm.
Thanks.
Is the heat plan to go out there?
The heat that's actually in our bar existing now is oversized, so we're not gonna have to do any expansion to the heating system. It's just gonna roll into it.
Oh, really?
Okay, good enough. Yes, you-
I'm assuming that the floor structure is gonna have to change some, and that you're gonna have to insulate and close it off somehow.
So with discussions verbally with the builders to decide on how to proceed with this, they're talking about a crawl space and new flooring, kind of everything else.
So it'll be closed in from the deck down as well?
Yes.
Right?
I'm okay with this.
Okay, good enough. Scott? Well, I don't think there's any report.
No, we're gonna talk about it in deliberations, I don't see
Yeah.
an issue.
Yeah, okay, good enough, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I guess so. Okay, come on to, we'll change the banner, so we'll just go right along on the extension.
So I guess you could just go into deliberations and run
Yes,
through
everything else,
Okay.
we'll do deliberations, including the bonds, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to go into deliberations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We're right over to the beginning of it, I guess. Okay, all in favor of the 824 is for the improvements of the fields as it was presented by our staff here.
We're taking these one at a time.
Yes, we're doing the first one now, the 824, P23-04.
So I'll make I'll make a motion for a positive referral for the P2304 application for the 5 properties.
Okay,
Good evening. The North Haven Library will be closing in 30 minutes. Public computers, copiers, and Wi-Fi will be shutting down in 15 minutes. Thank you.
okay, I have a motion to approve, and I get a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Mark seconds. Okay, can I, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. Jim, take the second one, the P23-06.
I'll make a motion for a positive referral for the wall in Max Sinaway Baseball League, P23-06.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, and electronic, as John just presented it to us, P23-05. And a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve P23-05.
Okay, I got a motion, have a second?
I'll second, and I believe there were some comments from the town regarding that.
I'm sorry?
There were some,
Yes.
there were some details, so it would include all the details required by
Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay, and motion is a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, now we just talked about 43 Broadway. Put the cover on the deck. I mean, I'm in favor of doing it, but I want to make it clear, this is not just a cover over the deck, this is the wall, the areas heat in there, and whatever else, so.
I don't think we even have to prove it. I think where we are is you decided if we
Yeah.
didn't,
If
if
we
we
don't-
say we don't need a site plan application, then we can proceed and go get whatever permits they need to go get, right?
That's good with me,
But
whatever.
we
you
can
want.
make a motion
Yeah,
to.
No, we're not.
If you want to vote, I mean, that's fine too.
Don't do
but-
it.
I don't think we need to.
Okay, good, we're okay with this, what they're doing.
We're okay, I'm okay with it.
Right.
If we should all say we're okay with it. I'm fine.
Mark?
I'm good with this.
Okay, everybody's good with it? Staff, you good with it? Okay, very good, it's okay. Very good, thank you, gentlemen. Okay, an extension on 1934 Hartford Turnpike.
This would be their second and last extension. This is the subdivision of Frankie Muzzio.
Oh, Marzio?
They have not posted their bond. There's not any particular difficulty or problem in terms of the approval. It's just a question of
What is it, 6 months?
finalizing
I see,
that
that's,
part.
I was wondering how long it's gonna be, because I see the text.
You guys got
John Paul.
6 months?
It's a 90-day extension, and that's the end of the road, so
What is this, a 6-month extension or?
90 days,
A 90 days, 90 days,
the last 90.
They've got to come back and start from zero.
okay.
After that time, yes, you're
Okay.
exactly right.
Can I get a motion to approve the extension for Mazzio?
I'll make a motion to approve the extension of, Museum property.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good, thank you.
Who
Okay.
seconded, Brian?
Okay, now we have
Thank you.
the bond releases, P21-10, 144 Washington Avenue. Tell us about that.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So, to start off, everything's done, completed in accordance with the approved plan.
Beautiful.
There was some issues in when construction was just completed, there was some residents that had complained. I had gone out with the police department, we looked at some potential sign changes, but those never actually went forward. And based on my discussions with the selectmen and kind of hearing around, it doesn't seem like there's a major issues from a traffic standpoint out there, as we originally had thought there might have been. So I don't think that the sign changes that were discussed previously were really all that necessary. It would require them to come back in and get reapproved for any changes we had in the signs. I don't know if there's any benefit to going through that process.
This is
So-
the Five Guys property, right?
Yeah, Five Guys and.
Okay, so they have completed the
They have
site
completed
plan?
everything, everything's done. Yep, there was a couple of issues that went corrected, a couple of trees that were missing, that they put in, so.
They're in?
Yeah, they're in.
So, but I'm a little concerned, although I think we're gonna get another bite at the apple anyway. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they're coming again anyway, but this says North Haven Police requested changes which would supersede the signage plan. So before they come, before this owner comes in front of us again, and my understanding is he's coming,
Mhm.
he's got another business that wants to go in there and they've got to
Yep.
make an application. Somebody, it's got to go in front of the police and they should tell us whether they want.
Yeah, that's an opportunity,
If
absolutely.
the neighbors want it or not, and they're
Right.
not here, fine, but the police should tell us whether they want it.
Yep, absolutely.
If they've done everything into this plan, there's no reason to hold their bond. I'm not
And
doing
that's
it.
my point, right?
Again, but.
Yeah,
the
and no, and I
police-
think that's a great thought, Jim, I think, and I think that's the way it should be handled.
Yeah, then they'll have another shot to say,
Yep.
if we don't need it, fine, I'm not
Right.
looking to make the guy do anything, but it bothers me when since the police are requesting something, we're not doing
Yep,
it.
yep, absolutely, no, I get it. But like I said, there was some rumblings in the very beginning when the thing was first completed, and really have not heard
What-
much of anything since then.
What signs were they talking about?
Well, it's more the signs to go out onto Monroe.
Yeah.
And that
Tells
left
you
turn
you gotta
onto
go-
Washington.
Right,
Yeah, it
you
was
can't go
making,
left on Washington.
yeah, there was
you got a
three
sign there.
or four signs that they wanted to change out from the signs that are already there that say this, just different wording is essentially all it is.
I haven't seen a problem there, I think there's gonna be a problem there. I haven't seen
Keep
it.
adding, yeah, additional fast food.
Well, whatever, but the
It's
signs
coming
aren't
up.
gonna solve it.
Right, exactly.
The net result is very few people that I see attempt to take the left out of Monroe Street.
Out of Monroe onto Washington.
Yeah, and that was really the
I don't know if
focus.
the sign's stopping that, but I hear you, it's hard to take a left out of Monroe.
It is. They don't want people doing
Like
it.
post office.
And you can't really prohibit.
That
if I-
sign's been there
if-
forever. I saw two people take the left out of the pork chop.
Well, I can't help you with that either, and that's another sign. Now, they took out that sign. That is to say, that sign was struck and knocked down.
Which no left turn sign.
On the pork chop at
No,
Route
that's-
5,
Yeah.
that says no left turn, someone ran it over, and then put it back up again. But it's hard to, if you're exiting there, and let's say I'm going back to my office at the Town Hall Annex, so you're gonna go south generally, I'm probably gonna go down Monroe
You
Street
left
to
Monroe.
Pool.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I suppose I could take
It's
Blakesley.
not worth it.
It's not.
No, I get it. But there's a no left sign coming out of the post office,
Well, nobody listens to that.
Nobody pays any.
Right.
That's the most famous
I
no
don't think it's
left.
enforceable. It's like, okay, you're not supposed to take left, no big deal.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
Well,
It's not enforceable until you're into an accident. Then you can go.
It's still not enforceable.
I'm not sure.
There's
I
no
don't think it
ticket
is.
for it.
You're not gonna take that
It's
case?
stupid.
You're back.
But I gotta tell you, people go out of that and take a left all the time.
I think it's all right. I think it's all right.
But anyway, I'll make a motion, we release this bond at 144 Washington.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Good. Okay, motion carried. Okay, we got P 08-32, 133 Middletown Avenue. Talk about this, that's the gas station down there?
Yes, sir. So, I mean, construction's been completed for a long time here. In fact, Jonathan had reviewed this for release, but the problem was they never submitted an as-built. So they finally sent me the as-built. And the as-built checks out, everything looks fine, everything is completed. The only issue that I have on this one is there's the little gravel parking lot that comes off of their parking lot, and then there's the driveway entrance into Peters Rock Park. There's no agreements, there's no nothing for any of that, and that's just all a verbal thing that they had. So that's really the only issue I have. not something that I think we can hold a bond up for. He completed everything that the planning and zoning required of him for that.
Yeah, but that was a deal with the town. that looked at it.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
We've had this bond for 15 years.
Yeah, but tell me about the proposed fence line, because it says proposed fence line along the property line was not installed.
Right, that was supposed to go where that gravel parking lot is.
But
So instead of the fence going in, the gravel parking lot went in.
There's a driveway that connects it, and the fence is there, it's just not complete because the gravel park driveway interrupts it.
Right.
So,
And you remember.
There's a
gravel
portion,
parking lot's there instead of the fence?
Yes.
Correct. If the fence was there, you couldn't get into the gravel parking lot. That's
So
the
the
problem.
section of the fence is missing, it's not completed through.
the parking lot's beyond the parking lot
Beginning.
for the business, but the fence is removed such that the driveway can get through to get to the Peters Rock Park. That's all. The rest of the fence is in place.
So, but there is the small gravel parking lot there, right?
Right.
It's there, and
Right.
that's what you're saying, is there pursuant to some informal agreement, take the fence out, put the gravel parking lot in?
Correct. I don't think the fence ever went up, honestly. I think
Yeah,
the gravel
yeah,
parking lot
whichever.
and the driveway entrance went in due to some informal agreement that they had with the town to allow that access into Peters Rock Park. Now, that's a huge benefit to the town because now we don't have to build our own driveway to get into the park, which I think would be a little difficult there. Because you'd be right directly against their driveway. You'd have two driveways parallel to each other going in.
The deal relative to the parking lot and the access to is really, the parking lot is on town property, it's the access to it.
Right.
I see this as 08. The arrangement, I think, was informalized prior to that. It was, the original approval was 2002 or somewhere in that range.
Correct.
So it was shortly after the 2002, so if you're looking for an era or whatever when that might have occurred, it was, I would guess, 5 years prior to this new application.
Bottom line is, you're telling us we don't want them to do anything else, we don't need them to do anything else, that's where we are?
Yeah.
Because it's not exactly in conformance.
Well, I know,
with the site
you're
plan,
right, you're right. If they completed the fence, then we would lose that parking lot,
Yeah.
is essentially what it means. So,
So we're saying, okay, you don't have to do what the site plan says, because we're better off without.
That's just what we're saying, exactly.
But they don't have to come and change the site plan, we're just gonna let them do it.
Yep.
That's
Yes.
what we're saying.
well, I mean, the town has benefited from the situation,
Yeah.
so.
Substantially,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good to go?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Ron?
Sure.
Anybody? Okay, having a motion to approve it? Let the bond release?
I'll make a motion to
Release the bond?
release the bond for 133 Newton Avenue.
Good enough. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Good, aye.
Okay,
Aye.
good enough. Okay, we have no minutes for April 3rd, 2023. Have a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of April.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 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 sure. Anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
That's a
Thank you
record.
very much.